Thank you for joining us. My name is Chris Emke, and this is the Diesel Performance Podcast. And today we have another UCC competitor, Mr. 3,000 horsepower himself, Chris Patterson. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about y'all?
You know, the weather here in northern Illinois, it's starting to warm up. Well, it was warmed up, and then it cooled back off, and it's been a monsoon of rain, so we're dealing with that. How's life down in Texas?
It's getting to be the same. Right now, it's spring, so it's like 80 degrees.
Okay.
And by the time we come back from UCC and race week, it'll be summer at 105 degrees.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? Within like a week or two, that's what happens? Like flip of a switch.
Yeah, it flips. Yeah. Well, just wait 10 minutes. If you don't like it, it'll change.
So for any of our new listeners who maybe don't follow you on social media or have watched prior UCCs, can you give us a little background on you, Diesel, and then maybe on the shop itself?
Yeah, my name's Chris Patterson, and my shop is Unrivaled Diesel. We're based in Weatherford, Texas. I'm a Dodge diesel specialist. I just grew up that way, and the Common Rail came out, and I fell in love. So all we do is 5.9, 6.7 Common Rail, and we stay extremely covered up doing it. I do service like front to back brakes, front end AC, interior, things like that. We offer remanufacturing. We build our own motors, transmissions, transfer cases, axles. And then we offer performance where you get off into the hot rod side of things. And we just try to do the best that we can with each individual person and get to everybody that we can and stay covered up doing it.
Okay. Now, as far as the truck that you will be competing in UCC this year, can you give us a little background on the platform, the power plant, just a quick little synopsis on that?
I've got a couple of these stupid trucks, and one of them is a '07 green 3500, and I've raced it for a few years. It's a dually, and I love that aspect of it. It's a Laramie 2-owner, so it's the perfect vehicle to make a UCC truck out of.
I would say so.
And
most people would choose like a regular cab, maybe a crash truck, maybe an old ex-work truck, but you picked a nice truck. You picked a big, nice truck to work with.
Yeah. You know, I got to represent Texas.
Absolutely.
I mean, why would I want to take out the easy way and take the lightweight race truck like that? That just makes too much sense.
It as you're saying it logically, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I mean, I need steering wheel buttons in the staging lanes, you know?
Yeah.
I got to adjust the volume and find the next track.
You know what? That's not a bad move. Maybe you want to cruise control and coast through because you're beating on everybody else.
Yeah, I've definitely used heated seats before at the track. It's pretty cool. I guarantee. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I get cold, and no one races in Texas, so I got to go up to all y'all and go to Ohio and Indianapolis and Delaware and Salt Lake and all that crap. So it's cold all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, when it's 110 degrees, you know, it's 80 in spring and it's 110 in the summer, you know.
Yeah.
You go anywhere north, you know, you drop 20, 30 degrees, I can understand.
Yeah, you got to get 2 hoodies on. It's crazy.
So, Chris, you'll be bringing the 07 then this year? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's right. Just 6.7 Hamilton competition block, D&J head, D&J rod, Flux 400, 214s, 80 106, a couple kits of nitrous. Kind of the same thing I've been doing the whole time.
So this is the setup that it's proven you've made the 3,000 horsepower on various dynos, but this is the setup. This is the secret sauce.
Well, there ain't nothing secret about it. You just got to have enough balls to spray it right. But yeah, this is the same setup for years and years. So
okay.
Nothing's really changed. I just keep breaking stuff and keep trying and keep breaking and keep trying.
Now, going into this year for 2025, are you trying anything different or changing things up?
No, I'm actually going to dial it back and play a little bit more conservative role. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm going to do any stupid shit. That happens all the time. But I'm going to play a little bit closer to the chest.
Okay.
And the only reason we're even coming back and still doing it is because I still have everything. I've never sky high'd this thing. I've sprayed it a lot, but it's never went sky high. So I have engines and transmissions and harnesses, and I have turbos and injectors and drive lines. I have all these things. So you might as well go fight. If you have ammunition, let's go fight. But, you know, it's not good enough to just say that you're going to do the ultimate call-out challenge. It's not good enough to say, we're going to show up from Texas, and we're going to drag race the best we can. And then the next day, we're going to dyno the best we can. Then the next day, we're going to sled pull the best we can. See, that's too simple. With one truck, that's just too simple. That's been done. I kind of feel like that's burnt out a little bit. So to up the ante a little bit more, Monday, whenever everyone's hung over and leaving Indianapolis after the whole shebang's done, we're converting to drag and drive tent trim, and we're going straight to Rocky Mountain Race Week. It's called Mega Week. It's 5 tracks, 5 days. So we're going straight into a drag and drive. We're actually showing up 2 days late to the drag and drive, but we're still going to do it. 1,500 miles, and we're going to do it with the green truck, and I got a big fancy surprise with it. So it's going to be pretty cool. Lots of racing, like 14 days of racing.
So the surprise on the truck, does it have to do with anything in the driveline?
Nope.
Okay.
Why would you ask that question?
I had a little birdie who shared a little bit of information, and I don't want to be the one to just call you out and ask. I want to see if you want to give our listeners a little inside scoop as to some of the thoughts and some of the plans that you have. That's why I asked if anything was changing this year, and you're not taking the bait, so I'm going to be good and I'm going to let it be.
We go back, don't we?
We do.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just another Cummins. Next question. Well, I still got to get it in. This is where it counts.
No.
It's just like the dyno. It only counts on one property between one set of dates. That's it.
Hey, I had your back on that with the last interview. I've always said from day one, you're overlooked. The truck is overlooked. The accomplishments, in my opinion, haven't been credited the appropriate way, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, I've seen certain dynos with certain trucks make certain power. And then maybe a few days later, that same truck on the same dyno might make a little less or a little more. So it's difficult, the clickiness right within the industry.
Oh, sure.
Say the least.
Sure. I mean, yeah, if you're not in the cool kids, you just suck.
I mean,
but,
who classifies who as the cool kid? I think you're a pretty cool guy.
Vote. Oh, yeah. That's because you like me. So
you just have a badass name, that's all.
At what point, it's like we're talking about so much freaking horsepower that I feel as if the sun could have a cloud go right in front of it for a few minutes and it would change your odds dramatically.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so it's almost like, let's see how far we can throw this little tiny rock and measure it from the same place and do it time after time after time after time after time.
Yep.
But you want to argue about where it's at. Like, okay, I was 50 miles from the East Coast, did it twice, 1 year apart twice. And then I was all the way over there by Moab in the beautiful Salt Lake area, and then did it over there once or twice.
Right.
What the hell?
No, it's just...
And besides that, it's 100% pointless horsepower. The only thing you can do with it is make a fat dyno number.
Yeah. But nobody puts in the account all the other trucks that didn't come close, right? Like,
oh yeah,
and those trucks seem to be fairly consistent on other dynos as well, right? Because those consistent trucks made consistent numbers on various dynos, but your truck made more power on one dyno. You're the fluke. It doesn't count.
Okay, well, here we go. What's the difference between a pro stock racer and a top fuel racer?
I don't know.
One lets off a button and one actually has to drive.
Okay.
Next question.
That's a good way to put it. I didn't think of that. That really is. I have to process that for a second because I didn't look at it that way. How about this? Going into UCC 2025, you have spare parts, you have engines, transmissions, you have everything ready to go. What's a win for Chris Patterson? What's a win? What's a win?
Oh, man, the memories you make with your people along the way. It's not about who's standing up there at the top at the end. That just means enough people gave you stuff you could get to the end.
Okay.
It's like this epic journey that a lot of people don't ever get to see because we're not represented in the pits late at night showing the stories about, putting crankshafts in motors and changing 3 or 4 trannies in a day or replacing the whole front clip because you blew a driveline out or whatever. So there's all these memories and everything that make up. So that's a really big one. But, my goal is always to finish. And regardless of position, I'm going to try the very best that I can with what I'm given to work with that day, between my people and my parts department,
Yeah.
and the truck. We just always try to patch it together. So it'd be what it be. Either way, I'm done. I don't plan on competing ever again at this level. I'm going more like drag and drive here.
Now,
I can go out. I can go out way more often.
Yeah. So then I'll back into that here in a second, because I think I might know where this next answer is going to come from. Out of the UCC events, what's your favorite? Like, what are you looking forward to the most out of the three?
Well, I would say sled pulling, but that's really incredibly hard because it's just sheer carnage, and it's kind of like the cloud in front of the sun on the dyno. Like, the odds have to be perfect that you don't hit the little whoop and start a oscillation and get your chassis all mad.
Been there, done that.
So,
yes, sir. Not at your level,
yeah,
but
that's tough.
I know what that's like.
I mean, but the sled pull trim is dead nuts sexy. Like throwing dirt 60 feet in the air, like, love it. And you get to hold it to the wood the longest. So the average amount of power from go to whoa is the best.
Yeah.
In sled. I mean, 30 seconds of 5,000 RPM and however much power you want to use. You know, that's subject for debate.
Now
so that's pretty fun.
Those usually make the best photos too. Like, I love a good sled pull photo or video in its element.
I mean, I started welding a frame to the bottom of my frame because we were seeing like 4 and 5 inches deflection from the front to the rear.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's all the torque.
Yeah, so you'll see that big redneck monstrosity hanging down, that 2x2 1/4-inch tubing with a big fat MIG welder. Yeah, buddy.
I'm looking forward to that. Now,
so
what's your least favorite?
Well, I don't know. See, and then we got dyno. We didn't get to talk about dyno. That's the most political event I've ever seen. Like, jeez Louise.
Well put, sir. Well put.
Whoever thought, the dyno has no rules. I think we've talked about this. Have I told you my theory?
Well, why don't you, there's new listeners, right? We have new listeners all the time. So
you're right.
Why don't you share the theory?
Drop it again. There's no rules on the dyno. Like, okay, you calibrate at 2,000 RPM. Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Anybody can pick their load. I've never really had a opinion on the load because it doesn't really matter. But that you don't have a start-stop point. Like, okay, it'd be different if you had to go from 2,000 RPM, hold it for 4 seconds, and then rip to 5,000s, and it takes 10 seconds to get there. Well, we'd all explode. Every freaking one of us would explode. But being how it's just like, okay, go, and everybody holds their nuts and squeezes and closes their eyes, like, yeah, there's no rules. So it's kind of the biggest balls wins, and I think that's how we got where we got with it. But that's just, like drag racing, you got an 1/8 mile, you got a 1/4 mile. Sled pull, you got till it stops you, and you got a start point.
You have a start.
Just like, okay, go.
You have a start and a finish point, right? Something easily gradable at that point.
Yeah. How fast can you pour the nitrous and it not explode? That's all it is.
But I feel like that's the most expensive lesson and the most expensive R&D side of things, if you really think about it.
Yeah. As long as, there's a lot that goes on there. So your injector guy has to be cool with the nitrous guy. Because if those two guys don't get along, there's definitely a fight. So the dyno's cool, but it's completely overrated, and they took value out of it. Everybody bitches and moans saying the dynos work too much. They took points out. Who cares? Whatever. It would be different. Oh, I got so many opinions. Good thing you said we only had 10 minutes. Like, what if you only had like 2 runs and that's it? That's all you got, 2 runs.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many, and you could average the 2 together. I don't know. There's so many things there. So, or you have to drive it off. If it pops but makes a number, does it still count? I don't know. Opinions, right?
I mean,
so
I would say you'd have to complete the event to make it valid, right? Like, that single event. If you're going to drive the truck on the dyno and you want your number to be valid, it's got to drive off. I think that would probably persuade certain individuals to operate their trucks a little differently and not swing for the fences and maybe be a little more calculated. Or maybe they invest their time and money testing throughout the year to not swing for the fences at that one dyno.
Well, Matt and Sarah Chapman tried that shit with me at King of the Street about putting the dyno the very first thing, and I still did a full send and it still worked. So it does definitely go both ways. The dyno, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It would be great if there were more competitors up there making big, retarded, stupid horsepower and put torque back in it. F it.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
No.
Yeah, let's do it. I really like the torque idea, but no, not that. And then there's drag race, which I love drag racing. Drag racing is probably my favorite segment of all things just to do. I grew up at drag strips.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's not really drag racing at UCC. It's time trials, solo runs. You could take 10 seconds to stage if you wanted. So there's no show to put on there as far as UCC because there's no racing. It's just single runs. They give us 2 or 3, maybe 4 opportunities through the day. Here you got 15 minutes, 30 if you're lucky. Hurry up, get your asses out of the way. So drag racing, I think it could use a little bit of love there. But I don't know. What if it was like you had 2 time trials to run and you average those for your points, and then 2 passes on the dyno, average those for your points, and then 2 sled hooks, average those for your points. Like, make it harder. Put some more durability into it.
I think from a builder's perspective, somebody who solely works on their truck within their camp, right? Your shop, you have a different way of maybe looking at it versus somebody who maybe pays to have a motor built, right? Or pays to have a truck built for that matter. Do you think that, because you put your blood, sweat, and tears in this, not taking anything from any other competitors, but do you think that because of all the years of wrenching on the truck and, all the trial and errors along the way, that you're a little more mindful in thinking that way?
In thinking of making the competition harder?
In making the competition more competitive, but more equal across the board. Because I think what you're talking about is you're talking about averages, right? That takes out the fluke, the what if, like, oh, that was just luck, right? Or however those words are. It allows for consistency. I guess the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely have to change your plan on the dyno. If you can't swing 2 or 3 times in a row on kill, then it ain't even built for it,
right?
Especially in 30 minutes. I mean, 30 minutes is a gracious period of time.
That's a long time.
We did 13 pulls just this Saturday here at the shop, like
13,
an hour and a half.
13 pulls on your truck?
Yeah.
13 pulls.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You got to play around a little bit.
No, you do. You do. It's an art.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely, the field is very wide, and there's almost 2 different groups of racers here. It was called the Ultimate Call-Out Challenge, and it was for shops only. And then it just kind of strayed from there and then into the 2-truck thing. But I think that's the point of the challenge, is 1 truck, 1 group of guys for 1 vehicle to get it patched up and get it going. Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's a grade at that point. It's a test on, can you transform the truck? Can you build, the ultimate call out challenge, right? The baddest trucks, right? But in reality, it's, can you build the baddest team? Can you get the best team behind a truck to go from A to B, right? Or to make that number, or to transform that truck whatever way needed to be, sled pull ready, drag strip ready, dyno ready. If you break something, can you fix it? Right? I wasn't the biggest fan of the 2-truck rule, and I would say personally, I feel like the competitiveness of the competition kind of maybe turned in some event and in some aspect when the 2-truck rule came about. Now, there are some guys out there that are saying, the UCC is, not what it was. What do you think? What do you think about UCC in the year 2025 compared to its inception?
I think it's going to be a great send-off party for me. This truck has been running now for a while, and it hasn't had anything great and catastrophe like happen. So
yeah,
I'm going to give it one more last effort and probably hang it up on this truck. I'm definitely still the king of the street, the multi-leg event with my red truck, it makes 2,400 horse. It's a lot more tame and a lot more fun.
2,400 horsepower, and it's a lot more tame. You're a
Yeah.
wild man.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you definitely need to check out Matt and Sarah Chapman, King of the Street in Delaware in October. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
There's no big shops there. I mean, the biggest dudes there are McCormick and Petrick, and they're both dried up as just like myself. And then I show up, but I brought my daily driver this time.
No.
It's way more fun, dude. I don't know how much
your daily driver
and how much firewood, but good God, it's a blast.
Your daily driver makes what Petrick's competition truck makes, so
Congrats to him. He finally did better. He did 27 there.
Oh, did he there?
And then I called him a bitch and said, if it's still running at the end, let's put it on Sunday night, and I'll make 3 if you let me drive it. And so that pull, his pipe fell off, so he said no.
Oh God, I'm just I'm picturing Petrick's face when you said that.
Oh no, he just rolled his eyes and looked around that Tennessee. Oh, Patterson, there ain't no way.
With his backwards hat and all.
Yeah. But it's the King of the Street's a way different vibe. It's a family-oriented deal.
Yeah.
I'm there for like 6 days when I go. It takes us 3 days to get there and 3 days back, so it's a great big party every year.
It's a long drive.
And then after that, I mean, Texas is BFE. Y'all don't know. Y'all never been here. So it on the way back, we're stopping at Fitzgerald's because his 4.0 event's in Tennessee.
Yep.
And that's another great big party. So I'm gonna be like 2 solid, maybe 3 weeks of nothing but partying in October, November.
With a couple Cummins trucks along the way, right?
Yeah, just out there to have fun. I mean, we got 5th in that thing, just screwing around. And I couldn't even drag race. I had no cage, so I had to run 17s. Or no, 7:30 was the fastest I could go.
Okay.
And it ran 7:1 on tune 1.
Oh,
so
wow.
Immediately I was like DQ'd in that deal. And still got 5th in the whole event. Like, and my priority was not being competitive.
No.
By any means. I actually got in trouble. I was late for eating a burger in the pits for round 3 of drag race. It was horrible. Like, they announced me on the PA. I had to haul ass over there.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's about having fun, right? Like, yeah, it's competition, and you have to take it serious to some extent. But when you have to treat it as a second job, it takes away from the enjoyment of, disrupting your day to day, disrupting the family, disrupting the business, to go to an event, right? Like, it takes a lot.
I feel like I've had so much controversy around everything I've done that it's completely turned me off from all this competition, period. And now I'm just about enjoying it and like, let's see if she blows up. I don't know. I might use 2,500 horse and drag race. I mean, I think that bitch will go 5.0s in the 8th. And if I really got stupid and took the fender and bumper and hood and clip and all this other stuff off and did some of the stuff like gas guys do, I bet we'd see a 4-second dually. But who wants to ever do that? But it might do it one time. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be. Now,
so, whatever.
What's a win for you going into this? You say that this is the last UCC that you're going to compete in.
Oh, just finishing.
Just finishing. A truck that stays together and finishing. Yeah,
let me do each segment the best I can. It's not. I don't have to make 3,000. I want to make 3,000. If it does, sweet. If it doesn't, well, okay. I've had worse in the past. And I'd like to run faster than a 540. That's the best I've done at UCC, so I'd like to do better than that. And there again, you only have to do it once because all you got to do is put a number on the board. So push it till it breaks.
You put the truck on the track, first pass 540. You're done. You put your hat up. You're done.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And then that would be like at 9 a.m. That'd be your first attempt or first session.
Right.
And then there's an 8 p.m. session.
Okay.
If nothing gets skipped, but I've oiled down the racetrack my first pass the last 2 years in a row, so I'm coming. Everybody knows it.
Third time's a charm, right? This is the time to break the habit.
Yeah, maybe I can also split my block in half on the racetrack.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're just gonna go out there and do the very best that we can and have a blast doing it, and hopefully it's alive come Sunday night. Then we flip it to drag and drive trim. And then we go put 1,500 miles on it the next week drag racing.
That's what you're most excited about. That's what you're looking forward to.
Yes. Drag and drive is absolutely amazing. It's like, oh, you went kind of slow. Yeah, I drove it in 140 degrees to Tulsa.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Motorplex that night, and I did it again within a tenth. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Just the reason to rack up the 1,500 miles on a badass street truck that you built is kind of like the highlight in my book.
Yeah, yeah. 5-inch fender stack, like no problem. So it's a lot of fun. You definitely need to check out the drag and drive
No,
scene.
definitely.
Diesels would do good.
Yeah,
I've done them for about 4 years now, and I've had most of my trucks. Actually, all my trucks have been in it.
Well, I was talking with the guys over at Worley Custom Fab. They bought an existing customer of ours. He had an older Duramax that was 2-wheel drive, 4-link back haft, and they ended up buying the truck to do some cruise weeks. Some drag and drive cruise weeks, and the excitement that the Whirly boys had on how much fun and how excited they are on it. I feel like that's an experience, right? Like it is. It's fun. You get some racing in. You're with like-minded individuals that are purpose building these vehicles, and they just want to have fun.
Like you and 300 other badass hot rods driving a predetermined route. You're like, you don't stop at stop signs.
Yeah.
You encourage rolling burnouts. Fire departments love it. You follow the smoke, and it's like, oh, sweet, another rolling burnout. Hang on, let's get ready. Put the two-step in it.
It sounds like every automotive junkie's dream.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's a party every night at whatever hotel or whatever racetrack it's at. I mean, you're chilling with Kyle at 1320 like nothing. Yeah. All the big wigs are there. It's amazing. And then they got this thing where if you're on the side of the road, thumb up, you're good, you need nothing. Thumb down, pull your ass over, I need some help.
Right.
And everybody does it. So you'll see 15 or 20 cars on the side of the road helping one dude that lost a wheel bearing or whatever it is.
It's a community at that point. Everybody needs to help each other.
Definitely is. Yeah. For sure. So it's a big thing for us doing Mega Week immediately after UCC. Literally Sunday, the sled pull day of UCC, is the first day of Mega Week in Oklahoma. So I'm purposefully entering an event that I'm only going to be able to finish but not obtain any points to be anywhere near competitive. But I get that sticker that says Certified Street Truck Mega Week 2025. And you can't buy those stickers. You can't buy these experiences. No. You have to go and partake.
So the sticker goes on the truck and the sticker stays and lives on the truck.
Absolutely.
That's like a badge of honor at that point.
It is, till you bust it out of the back glass sled pulling when a rock comes through because you got a fiberglass bedside. It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, the whole back glass is shattered in the green truck. You'll see it. It's pretty cool.
Well, on that note, is there anybody that you would want to give a special thanks to going into the UCC or into Drag Week?
All the normal people that have supported me for all these years. Flex Diesel Injection, all the fuel stuff. Don and Ape helped us for years and years and years. Appreciate that. Dan at Valor Clutch, Yukon, OptiLube. There's so many that have stood behind us forever. But most importantly, my wife. She still tolerates this. I don't get it. Maybe that line is so far pushed, but she still tolerates
She still lets you in the house at night, right?
Yeah. She's going. She's going with us to race week or to UCC and everything. So she's rock solid. And then all the guys at the shop that keep us going unrivaled. I'm out here doing everything I can to make an honest effort at this and show people what it takes. And this doesn't have to be a shady business. We stay absolutely covered up fixing trucks and fixing other people's stuff.
Right.
So if you ever need Dodge Diesel work done, give me a shout.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Chris, I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to watching you compete, but just looking forward to, hanging out and seeing you next weekend at UCC. It's coming up quick. I think we're, 10 days out right now? 9 or 10, 11, something like that. So it's coming up quick. It's like literally the blink of an eye, and we're going to be in Brownsburg, Indiana at the event doing what we do. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, well, what do you want to drink? And I'll put you on the list.
Man, you know what? I'm easy going. I'll just drink whatever.
All right, then. You know where to find me.
Will do, sir.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
No problem. Take care.
Yeah, I've definitely used heated seats before at the track. It's pretty cool. I guarantee. Yeah, that's pretty cool.